Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the online seminar. How are you guys doing? Hi Soma. Hi Balaji. Hi Gokul. Deepak. Hi Priya. Jyoti. Milind. Nazia. How are you guys doing? Twisha. Rajiv. Great. Superb. Awesome. Okay, so we'll start in a couple of minutes. Okay, so till then, let's chat for a minute and let's introduce each other. Okay, let's get to know about each other. Okay. So how is your GRE preparation going on? How many of you are yet to start? Soma has started. Balaji is yet to start. Gokul started last week. Uday is also yet to start. Swati also has to start, not yet started. Vedant has also not yet started. Ram Rohit has started. Alright. How many of you decided when you are writing your GRE? Has anybody decided? Okay, Soma says mid-Feb. Ram Rohit says January 2nd. Balaji says January last week. Okay, Uday hasn't decided. Dr. Vincent Singh hasn't decided. Srinidhi is writing in next 20 days. All right. Okay. So where are you guys attending the online seminar from? Which city do you belong to? Swati from Hyderabad, Vedant from Nasik, Uday from Hyderabad, Soma from Hyderabad, Dr. Vincent Singh from Mumbai, Jaya from Kadapa, Sachin from Ahmedabad, Srija from Hyderabad, Gokul from Trivandrum, Ram from Coimbatore, Drishti from Gurgaon, Twisha from Kanpur, Milind from Gurgaon, Deepak from Hyderabad. So many of you from Hyderabad. Okay, let's see if you know each other. Balaji also from Hyderabad. Okay, which college? Let's see if there are more students from the same college. Aurora says Uday. Drishti from ITM University. Sachin from LDRP. Swati from DRK. Soma is working in Idea Cellular. Balaji is studying in QISCET. Ram Rohit from Amrita University, Coimbatore. Shrikant from Pragati. Deepak from Bharat Institute of Engineering and Technology. Gokul from SCT. Okay. Milan from MRIU. Okay. How many of you are attending from your college? College library, playground. Anybody attending from their office? Dr. Vincent from Oxford Brookes, UK. Dr. Vincent from ISCAR. Okay, Dr. Vincent, I say drive carefully. Okay. Gokul from home. Uday from library. Okay, Dr. Vincent is not driving. All right. I'm glad to hear that. Balaji from home, Deepak from home, Jaya from home, Swati from home, Shrikant from home. Everybody is attending from home. Anybody having coffee, samosas, hot pakoras? No? All right. So this seminar is going to last for about an hour. Okay. So get ready. Okay. Now before we get into the seminar, I'd like to know, are you attending it with your friends, or is there anybody who would like to invite their friends? No? Okay, Balaji is with a friend. Okay, nobody wants to invite their friends? Alright then. So we'll get started. Okay. So today we're going to see, we're going to discuss how to reach your target score. Okay. What are the best techniques? What are the guidelines? How to prepare in order to reach your target score. Okay. So all of you have introduced yourselves. Okay. I'll introduce myself. My name is Samarth. Okay. I'm a senior GRE advisor at GREedge. Okay. And I'm going to be organizing this online seminar. Okay. Along with me, I have Mr. Mani Kumar, who is also a senior GRE advisor at GREedge. Okay. And he's the one who is going to present today's online seminar. Okay. And a very brief introduction about Mani. Okay. He has tremendous knowledge about what it takes to get a high score. Okay. He has spent a lot of time with students, understanding their problems, understanding how they prepare. Okay. And he's also been talking to the trainers, understanding what are the best techniques that students should follow. Okay. So with this brief introduction, I'd like to hand over the stage to Mr. Mani Kumar, and thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the introduction. Hello guys. A very good evening to all of you. How are you doing? All well and good? Okay, that's good to hear. Hello Soma, Drishti, Srija, Dr. Vincent, Balaji, Jayvardhan, Joy Krishna, Vedant, Swati, Matru Sri Harsha. Sri Harsha, okay. Alright guys, so the topic for today's online seminar is GRE target score, how to reach. Okay, so I'm going to assume that all of you have a target score, correct? Okay, what is your target score? What is your target GRE score, guys? Deepak's target score is 300, Swati 320. Alright, so guys, you can answer the poll question that is in front of your screen. What is your desired GRE score? Okay, you can see the options. 290 to 299, 300 to 309, 310 to 320, 320 to 330, 330 to 340. Okay, so the maximum score in GRE is 340. Apart from the analytical writing section, the total marks is 340. Okay, so you can answer the poll question. Alright, so I'll close the poll question. I have a few more questions for you so that I will be able to understand you guys better, and then we'll continue with the seminar. Okay, when are you guys planning to take the GRE? Again, you'll have a question on your screen. Within 1 month, within 2 months, within 3 months, within 6 months, not yet decided. Sachin says this Friday. Oh, that's close. All the best, Sachin. All the best for your GRE. Alright. Have all of you answered the question? Okay. Now I have one more last question for you, last poll for you. What is your current level of preparation? Not yet started, want to know how to start? Just started preparing a GRE preparation plan. Middle of my preparation, not sure if I will complete in time. Know all the concepts, want to practice and feedback. Okay. Almost completed, need other online practice tests. choose the option that you think is the most appropriate for you. Okay. All right. Shall I close the poll, guys? Great. Okay. Okay. Thank you for answering, guys. Now that I know where do you stand in your current GRE preparation, okay, I'll be able to help you better with today's online seminar. Okay. So as Samat introduced me, I'm Mani Kumar. I'm a senior GRE advisor, and I'm going to take today's online seminar. Okay, and I'm going to help you with the with preparation tips of in GRE. Okay. So now, talking of the actual content, actual syllabus of the GRE, both verbal and quant. Okay, uh, it's compared to other common problems. It's quite easy to find out the solutions or solutions for the problems that you face in your GRE. But the problems that arise outside of your syllabus, the common problems that every student faces while preparing for GRE, I'm going to discuss those. Okay, because the tech tips and techniques, you might find it you might find it even if you Google search it, you might find some of them on the net as well. Okay, but the actual problems that a student faced, that the problem actually faced by our students at GRE Edge, I'm going to discuss those, and I'm going to tell you how to overcome those problems. Okay, is it fine, guys? All fine with the agenda for today's online seminar? Yes? Okay. Now also, and there are some ground rules for today's online seminar. I want all of you to answer and respond to my questions. Okay, since we cannot see each other, it will be very helpful for me if you guys respond or acknowledge to my questions, okay, so that I know you guys are listening. Okay, and you guys haven't gone somewhere else. Okay, so it will be of great help if you respond to my queries. Okay, and I want all of you to respond. It doesn't matter if what I'm asking, if your answers are wrong or right. Okay, please try to answer. Okay, all right, let's start with today's online seminar. We'll start with the cutting edge of GRE. We'll see what the GRE exam actually requires us to have to score a good score in GRE. Okay, what are the requirements to score well in GRE? Okay, reading comprehension skills. You guys all know what reading comprehension is. Okay, to improve reading comprehension, we need speed and accuracy. We need to be factual and focused. Okay, so has it ever happened to you that you are reading a newspaper article or a RC passage, okay, and you are not able to understand a particular sentence, and you go on reading it couple of times? Has it happened to you that you don't understand a sentence and you end up reading it twice or thrice to understand it? Has it? Correct. Okay, so that's what happened, especially when the passage or when the article is complex, something which is like a GRE passage. It will happen quite frequently. Okay, and we cannot afford to read a sentence twice or thrice in the GRE exam, because we'll lose time. Can we, guys? What will happen if you read a sentence twice or thrice in a GRE RC passage? What's going to happen? Time waste, Sachin says. We'll lose time, says Uday. Correct. Okay, so GRE requires us to have speed as well as accuracy, and it's not like you are very fast reader but you are not able to understand. Okay, does it happen? You try to read fast but you don't understand what is the sentence meaning. What is the meaning of the sentence? Yes. Okay, so there should be a balance between speed as well as accuracy. You should be fast as well as you should be accurate in what you're reading. Okay, now coming to usage and reasoning through words. Okay, usage of words. Okay, GRE requires us to have a vocabulary of at least 3,500 GRE words. Okay, so knowing the minute differences, ability to settle in. Okay, now if you guys have taken any sample GRE test, you would know that some of the options of some questions sound very similar. Has it happened to you? You are confused which option to tick. Which option is the right option? Has it happened to you? Yes. Trisha says yes. Deepak says yes. Okay, all of you say yes. Okay. Okay, so we need to know the minute differences between the words, the GRE vocabulary. We need to have a good GRE vocabulary, and that means we need to have the ability to identify the minute differences between two words. Okay, the words might sound similar, but there will definitely be a difference that we need to understand. Okay, next, coming to speed of problem solving, coming to questions of mathematics or mathematical problems. Okay, uh, most of us coming from engineering backgrounds, okay, we would be very familiar with solving questions of quantitative aptitude. Okay, but it's necessary that you try to finish them off in time. Okay, there's no point if you get the answer but you get it in 3-4 hours. Correct? Okay, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, so it's very important that you finish your quant in time. Okay, and also as speed increases, accuracy decreases. As I said, there should be a balance. Okay, unless there is special training and practice and review. Okay, so there should be balance between speed as well as accuracy. Okay, so shall we move forward, guys? Have you understood what GRE requires from us to get a good score? Okay. Now, problem areas and solutions. Okay, I'll start with the vocabulary section. Okay, what are the problems that students face? Okay, GRE has had 14,000, more than 14,000 students training with us for GRE. Okay, they've had different problems, various problems. Every one of them had quite a unique problem while preparing for the GRE. Okay, so I'm going to some of the most common problems, and I'm going to tell you how to solve them. Okay. Now, coming to vocabulary section. Okay. Okay. So some of the common problems are not completed preparation. Remember only 50% of what you have prepared. Confident of only 10% of what you have prepared. Okay, guys, which of the following problems, which of the problems do you face? You can tell me the number 1, 2, or 3. Sachin says 2, Manideep 1, Tisha 1 and 2, Vinay 3. Okay, 2, 2, 2, lot of 2s and 3s. Okay, and if there is any other problem apart from this that you face in vocabulary, you can also tell me that. Okay, a lot of 2s, 3s. Okay, we got a mixed response here. Okay, we'll now see how to solve them. Sachin says hard to remember words. Correct. That's a big problem. Difficult to remember vocabulary. Deepak says the same thing. Okay. Now we'll see the solution. Vocabulary solution. As Deepak and Sachin said, it's very hard to remember words. I'll tell you what are the techniques, what are the tips that you need to keep in mind to make it easier for you to remember those words. Okay, first visualize the words with a particular circumstance that you have experienced. Okay, when you come across a particular word, when you know the meaning of it, try to relate it with something that has happened in your life or something that you know very well. Okay, so if say you come across a word called equanimity. Equanimity means a calm peace of mind, a calm state of mind. Okay, so when I say a calm state of mind, which is the person that you can identify with that personality? Can you name a person? Dhoni. Soma says Dhoni. Manideep says Buddha. Correct. Okay, so yeah, Sachin Tendulkar. Fine. Okay, so those people are, they exhibit equanimity. Okay, so you can relate like that. Any word you can connect it with something that you know very well or something that has happened in your life. Okay, something that you've seen. Okay, so that is one technique. Okay, Alright, coming to the second point, relate one word with another which gives same meaning and understand the subtle differences between the words. Okay, it generally happens that when you're reading vocabulary and you come across two words that are very similar in meaning, we tend to ignore them. It's quite tedious to look into the meanings and identify what is the difference. Correct? Many times it happens, right? Okay, so but you should not move away from it. Okay, you should invest more time in it and identify what is the difference between those two words. Okay, many students tend to ignore it. Okay, when they see something's difficult, people tend to ignore it. Okay, that should not happen. You should invest more time in it and identify and get to the solution. Okay, now try to understand the words by grabbing the roots, create your own sentences and use it while speaking. Okay, guys, how many of you have gone through the book called Word Power Made Easy by Norman Lewis? Sajin has, Soma has, okay, Dr. Vincent has, okay, Joy Krishna hasn't, Sri Harsha hasn't, okay, Uday has, okay. So that is a good book to identify the root words of a root of a word. Okay, there are very good tips and techniques to learn the meanings and learn vocabulary. Okay, so you can go through the book, okay, and it will tell you how to identify the roots of a particular word. Okay, root is the origin of a word. Okay, a root has either a prefix or a suffix, and which transforms it into a completely new word. Okay, so if you know the root word, all the other words related to it you will be able to identify. Okay, if you know the root word, it's very easy to identify the other words related to it. Correct? Joy Krishna, it's Word Power Made Easy by Norman Lewis. Okay. Shrikant Menakar, Word Power Made Easy by Norman Lewis. Okay, I've sent it to you. Okay, all right. So that book will give you an idea of how to break the words into root words. Okay, but don't I'll suggest not to prepare completely from that book for your GRE, because the book will have only 200 to 300 GRE words. Okay, whereas in actual GRE requires us to learn more than 3,500 words. Okay, that book is very good to improve your vocabulary. It will give you a basic idea. Okay, but it's not enough. It's not enough for your complete GRE preparation. Okay, it'll help you get started. Okay, so you can refer that. Okay, now periodic revision is needed. Now if I ask you to recite the whole English alphabet A to Z, would you be able to do that? If I ask you to recite the whole English alphabet from A to Z, would you be able to do that? A, B, C, D. Yes, correct. Okay, so why would you be able to do that? Isn't it like we read it some 20 years ago? We learned it some 20 years ago, but still we are able to recite that completely. Why is it that? Because we practice. Correct. Okay, we use it many times, recited it many times, says Dr. Vincent. Okay, correct. So it is because we have been using it again and again periodically. Okay, how many times did your teacher ask you to stand in front of the class and recite it? Correct. Okay, if you go back in memory lane, you'll remember how many times have you stood in front of the class and recited it. Correct. Okay, so after doing it again and again, you have done it so many times that even after so many years you are able to remember it. Okay, so similar should be the case with your GRE preparation. You should have used it so many times that it's just like a cakewalk for you. It should be a piece of cake for you. Okay, and you should be able to use it in a normal language usage, normal conversational usage. Okay, you should be so thorough with words. Yeah, so that is the solution for, that those are the tips you can keep in mind to to memorize the words and improve your vocabulary in GRE. Okay, now moving to the next section, I'll go into go a little deeper. Okay, coming to sentence equivalence and text completion. Now, how many of you have tried sentence equivalence and text completion questions in GRE? Sachin has, Soma hasn't, Rokia has, Vedant hasn't, Trilok has, Dr. Vincent hasn't, Manideep has, Joy Krishna and Jayavardhan haven't. Okay, again a mixed response here. Some of you have and some of you haven't. So let me give you a basic idea of what is sentence equivalence and text completion. Sentence equivalence is something like you'll get a paragraph or a sentence, and you'll get options that are similar to that, similar to that particular sentence, and you have to identify the option which best describes the sentence that is given above. Okay, so that is a sentence equivalence. Text completion is more like fill in the blanks. Okay, you can get either a single blank, double blank, or triple blank questions. Okay, you have to but you have to make sure that you get all the 3 blanks correct in text completion, all the 2 blanks correct in text completion. So those are sentence equivalence SE and TC questions. Okay, now which of the problem do you face? You have taken very few tests, not sure about your preparation level. Have heard of tips and techniques, not applied in practice. Which of these problems do you face in SE and TC? Drishti says 1, Gokul says 2, Deepak says 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, okay. Soma says 0. Soma, can you elaborate what do you mean by 0? Okay, now Soma says oops 1. Alright, okay, fine. So many of the students face this problem, have taken very few tests, they're not sure about your preparation level. Okay, students generally ignore practice tests which are actually very important. Okay, and they would have heard tips and techniques. People have heard of tips and techniques, they've read it somewhere, but application is important. Okay, the practice and application, it's quite important. Okay, so we'll see what are the solutions for it. Okay, but first let us see why are tests important. Okay, taking tests will help you understand your weak areas. Okay, difficulties in understanding complex sentences. Okay, so just like you go to a doctor and doctor diagnoses you, and he tells you what are the weaknesses in you, and then he he treats you, correct? As soon as you go to a doctor, he doesn't directly, without asking you any question, he doesn't give you a medicine, correct? He diagnoses you, he finds out the weaker points, weaker areas in you, he finds out the weaknesses in you, and then he gives you a medicine, correct? So that is where tests are important. Tests will tell you where you are weak in, okay, where you stand in your preparation. So that is why it's important to take tests. Okay, Deepak has a question. Can we manage GRE without preparing for verbal section? No, Deepak, I am afraid, I am very sorry to say, but verbal and quant section, you have to prepare for verbal and quant section individually. Okay, you can't rely on one section and ignore the other. Okay, you have to have a minimum amount of marks for in both the sections. Okay, although there is no cutoff, but minimum number of marks are required in both the sections. Okay, all both the sections require you to have marks. Okay, good amount of marks if you want to get into a good university. All right. Okay, now there are there are many books and reference materials, and even you can search online for tips and techniques in verbal. You'll get many of them. Now, why is application important? Okay, contextual understanding of a word will help you select the best answer. Okay, now you might know a particular word. Okay, no, you might know a particular word and you might know its meaning, but if you don't know how to apply it in a sentence, okay, there's no point in knowing the meaning of the word. Correct? So contextual understanding, some words may be used in different contexts. Okay, various contexts. Okay, some words have more than one meaning, so it's very important to understand the contextual meaning of the word. Okay, and how is it applied in usage statements. Okay, all right, so guys, clear till now? All clear till now? SCT, how to handle SC and TC questions? Yes. Okay, we'll move forward. Okay, I see a lot of questions coming in. Okay, guys, I'll answer all of your questions. Okay, we'll have a question and answer session at the end of the seminar. Okay, we'll specially take your questions and answer all of your questions. Okay, but meanwhile, let's not break the flow of the seminar. We'll go, we'll go as fast as possible, and we'll have a question and answer session at the end of the seminar. Okay. All right. Now, lack of a proper study plan. Okay, how many of you have a study plan for your GRE? Srinidhi doesn't. Okay, Srikant doesn't. Deepak has. Sachin has. Drishti doesn't have. Dr. Vincent doesn't. Okay. Trilok doesn't. Swati doesn't. Vedant doesn't. No doesn't. Okay. Okay, I see most of you don't have a study plan. Okay. So before I start telling you about study plan, let me tell you, study plan is the starting step of your GRE preparation. Okay, it's very important to have a study plan. Okay, so okay, let me explain you like this. How many of you are working professionals? How many of you are working? Okay, Dr. Vincent is working. Okay, anyone else? Okay, Swapnil and Soma are working. Chaitanya is working. Okay, so those who are working, who you guys would understand better. Okay, do you guys have targets, monthly targets, deadlines? Yes. Okay, Dr. Vincent says not really. Okay, yes. Okay, so now the targets and deadlines that we have in companies, okay, they are according to a specific plan, correct? Okay, we have a plan at the beginning of the month, and then we try to execute it according to the number of days we have, correct? So similarly, even if you see, if a new government comes in, they have a particular plan. Okay, similarly, if your country goes to a war, they have a they have a particular plan. Okay, they can't just go and jump into the battle without having a plan, correct? Okay, so even if you you are going for a movie with your friends, you have a definite plan, which movie to go, what time, which theater are we going to, correct? So when you have a plan for for small things such as these, why not for GRE? Okay, now I'll tell you how a study plan will help. Okay, a study plan will give you direction and focus. Okay, uh, you can start studying, and you're going on preparing, you're studying, but you don't know where you are in your preparation. Okay, you don't know where you are going. Okay, so that is where a study plan will help you. Okay, it'll tell you this is where you have to start, this is where you have to end. Okay, so it will give you direction to your study. So it's very important to have a study plan. Okay, now have less time and have high potential but don't have a focused plan. So most of you said you don't have a focused plan. Okay, now I'll tell you how will a study plan help. Okay, so creating proper balance between between your GRE preparation and academic studies, work, social life, sleep. Okay, so it's not like when you're studying for GRE, you have to keep studying 24 hours. Okay, that won't be of any help. You have to have a balance between your academic studies or work, and social life. You need to have a good amount of sleep, and then you have to have a particular time for your preparation. Okay, so that is one thing. Then having regular reminders. Okay, after every day's work, after every day's preparation, you can get back to your study plan and see how much have you covered and how much how much is remaining. Okay, so that'll help you in having regular reminders. Okay, it'll remind you, oh, I'm lagging, oh, okay, I'm much ahead of where I should be. Okay, so that will help you in proceeding towards your target score. Okay, to avoid last minute preparation. Okay, most of us generally have this habit that last minute, last 2 or 3 days we'll study something and score. Okay, but that may be valid for in exams in engineering, but for a skill based exam like GRE, it doesn't really it doesn't really help. Okay, it needs to it tests your skills, identifies your skills. Okay, so skills can't be developed in 2 or 3 days, correct? Okay, so last minute preparations, a study plan will help you to avoid those. Okay, to have a relaxed, realistic and reasonable systematic preparation. Okay, and it'll help you be relaxed. Okay, it won't, if you study last minute you might be tense. Okay, so that won't happen. Okay, so okay, now all these things are fine. Now how many of you have a doubt with how to prepare an actual study plan? How many of you have this doubt? You want to know how to prepare an actual study plan? Okay, how to prepare a study plan. Okay, now like I told you, when you go to a doctor, he diagnoses you and identifies your weakness. Similarly, there is something called a diagnostic test in GRE. Okay, now when you give a diagnostic test, when you take a diagnostic test, it tells you where you actually stand in your preparation and what are your strengths and weaknesses. Okay, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, where are your weaker areas. Okay, now once you take a diagnostic test, it will assess your current preparation level. Okay, it will say this is where you stand. Okay, now you have to start from here, and from here you have to reach your target score. Okay, now based on the diagnostic test, where you are starting. Okay, now what to do next? Diagnostic test is over, what to do next? Okay, create a plan which will have a proper balance between your GRE preparation and academic studies, work, social life, and sleep. Okay, so just like I said. Okay, okay, there's if in general it is recommended that you have at least 400 hours of preparation for your GRE. Okay, but when you have an expert with you, when you have your trainer specially training you for your GRE, you should have at least 250 hours to prepare for your GRE. Okay, so based on that you can make a study plan, divide your 250 hours. Okay, from the point where you start. Okay, say if your diagnostic test says you are at 280. Okay, you can make a plan based on that. Also keep in mind your current occupation, if you're a student or you are working. Okay, so make a study plan, you take some sessions and then see where you stand. Okay, are you reaching where you're supposed to reach? Okay, then again study a bit and then take a test and see where you are reaching. Are you reaching your target score? Okay, so if you have that proper proper kind of preparation, okay, it will help you. Okay, that will how okay, yeah, so it has to cover all the modules. It's not like, and your study plan should cover all the modules. Okay, many times it happens that if we are finding a particular topic tough, we tend to ignore it. Okay, just like someone asked me right now, can we do without verbal section? No, it can't happen. Okay, you have to practice all those sections, because all of the sections will be asked in your GRE. Okay, so as much as possible include all the modules. Okay, all the try to try to cover all the whole of the syllabus. Okay, make a plan which will show what, when, and how much you will study each day. Okay, make a daily plan. Tomorrow I'll study this much, day after tomorrow I'll study this much. So on a whole weekly this much I have to study. Okay, monthly this much I have to study. Okay, and I'm talking about ideal conditions to prepare for GRE. Okay, most of you might not have this much time to prepare for your GRE. I'll tell you how to approach if you have very less days also. Okay, but for now I'll tell you how to approach your GRE if you in ideal situations. Okay, now don't forget to include regular breaks. Okay, you need to have breaks. You can't keep on studying and not have breaks. Okay, it will help you relax. It will help you refresh your mind. Okay, so that is how you prepare a study plan based on all this criteria. Okay, so understood till now, guys? Clear till now? All right, now we'll see some more problems that many of the students face while they are preparing for your GRE. Okay, being unaware of your weaknesses. How many of you are not unaware of your weaknesses? I'm sorry, how many of you are unaware of your weaknesses? Trilok is, Soma is, Sriharsha is asking, I have only 1 month, please tell a plan. Okay, Sriharsha, I'll tell you. Okay, I'll discuss it in the end, and at the end of the seminar. Let's not break the flow of the seminar. Okay. Okay, Dr. Vincent says, I think I'm weak in quant. Okay, okay, that is that is you told us in general. Okay, you need to get more into details of it, and you need to identify which especially are the areas where you're weak in quant. Okay, the Swapnil says I'm weak in verbal. Again, Swapnil, you have to dig down deep and identify what exactly are you weak in. There's some of you might be weak in remembering words. Some of you might be weak in using the words in statements. Some of you might be slow in reading. Some of you might be fast in reading, but not very accurate in understanding. So there are again different problems. You need to identify each problem and address it particularly. Okay, so I'll tell you how to overcome them. Have an assessment test to know where you are lacking. Okay, again, what is an assessment test? It's like a diagnostic test. Okay, so everything comes back to a test. Okay, the more practice tests you have, the better it would be. Okay, if you take an assessment test, if you take a diagnostic test, it will tell you everything. Okay, what are the actual weaknesses that you face, that you are facing, and how to overcome them. Okay, have a regular check on the emerging difficulties while taking sessions. Okay, so while taking a diagnostic test, you'll come out with some of your weaknesses. Okay, you'll keep them in mind and start preparing, but there will be new problems that will arise during your preparation that you wouldn't know right now. Okay, so you have to keep a check on them as well, and you need to find out the solutions for them as well. Okay, now how to overcome them? Find appropriate remedial for the areas in which you are weak. Okay, if you know you are weak in something, don't ignore it. Okay, you have to work especially on that. If you are strong in something, you can, you can subside it for a little bit. Okay, but if you're weak in something, you have to specially address it, and you have to identify the solution for it. Okay, proper identification, classification and preparation of the remedial will help you to overcome the areas. Okay, and classify your weaknesses. Okay, this is, this is where I lack in, this is where I'm weak in. Okay, so if you classify those and work on them, work on your weaker areas, identify the remedials. Okay, especially work on those where those things where you're lacking. Okay, that will help you, in overcoming this. Okay, now coming to one more problem. Okay, how many of you are, how many of you get tensed when you think that you have your GRE is coming soon? How many of you get tensed? Or how many of you get anxious? Vedant, Sri Harsha, Swati says a bit. Drishti, Deepak. Sri Harsha says I'm very tensed as of now. Don't worry, Sri Harsha, I'll give you the solution. Jayavardhan says a bit. Okay. So are you anxious and worried when you think of GRE? Okay, so I've got the answer from you guys. Most of you are anxious. Let's see how do we overcome this. Okay, but before that, let's see what does anxiousness indicate. Okay, now anxiousness, why do you get anxious? It's mostly because because of lack of preparation. Okay, when you are not completely prepared with for something, you feel tensed. Correct? Has it happened that you need to give a presentation and you're not prepared for it? You feel tensed. You think, what am I going to do? Has it happened? Yes, correct. Okay, so same thing. If you're prepared for it, you're very confident about it. Okay, if you know that you've read all the chapters for your exam. Okay, so would you feel anxious if you knew that you've read all the chapters for your exam? Would you feel anxious? No, right? Okay, Swati says she'll still feel anxious. Okay, may I know why, Swati? Okay, so not able to understand how to work on one's weaker areas. Okay, so most people know, okay, this is where I lack in. Okay, but still they don't know how to overcome this. Okay, okay, so that is what indicates anxiousness. Okay, anxiousness indicates lack of preparation. Okay, and not not understanding how to work on one's weaker areas. Okay, so that is when you feel very tense and anxious about your exam. Okay, Deepak says I think I will forget everything and that's why I become anxious. Okay, so Deepak, when you completely studied everything, when you completely gone through the whole of syllabus and uh, everything that is being asked will be something that I've already seen, that I've already read. Okay, you don't have to feel anxious. Okay, you don't have to feel tense. Okay, you'll get everything that you already know. Correct? Okay. Now moving to the next thing, coming to the RC section. Okay. Now what are the problems that do you guys face in RC section? Swati says 2, lack time management skills. Deepak says 1, confident but don't know the techniques. Manideep says both 1 and 2. RC is a tough nut to crack, isn't it? Alright. Okay. So yes, most of the students have this problem. Confident but don't know the techniques. Okay, how to how to go about an RC passage. Lack time management skills. Okay, so many times it so happens that an RC passage contains you know many of the things are irrelevant that you don't need to read. Okay, but still people but students, what they do is they go on reading the whole passage. Okay, that which is not required. Okay, some passages need you to read only those things which are important. Okay, and it would be very less. Okay, but people go on to read the whole passage. Okay, I'm not saying about every passage. Some passages are like that, tricky passages. Okay, some of the information might not be relevant, but you go on to read it. Okay, so you need to identify, you need to know where which things are to be read, which things are to be skimmed off. Okay, now lack time management skills. Okay, we might be good at reading, but we might be very slow. Okay, we might be good at understanding it, but uh, you know uh, but it would take us 2 or 3 reads to understand it completely. Okay, so how do we overcome this? Okay, how can time management skills be developed? Okay, you need to have good reading skills. Okay, you need to have a lot of practice. Okay, it's you if it's like you are reading an RC passage for the first time in your actual exam, it might not help you. Okay, you will take a lot of time to understand it. So you need a good reading skills, you need to practice. Okay, and you need to learn skimming and scanning. Okay, like I just said. Okay, you need to read only those things that are relevant in the passage. Okay, the best thing to do is read the questions first and then go and read the passage, so you will know what are the things you should read. Okay, then you should you should be good at scanning. At the very first glance you should be able to know what are the areas I could read. Okay, then acquaintance with a variety of topics. Okay, now how many of you hate politics here? How many of you hate politics here? Okay, Trilok does, Srikant does, Pranav does. Drishti says politicians, not the politics. Okay, fair enough. Interested in politics. Deepak is interested in politics. Okay, Dr. Vincent hates it but likes to be updated. Okay, all right. So if I give you an article on politics and another article about cinemas or entertainment, which one are you more likely to read? Which of the one are you more likely to read? Manideep says politics, Deepak says cinemas, entertainment. Dr. Vincent goes for politics first. Okay, correct. So we have an individual choice. Okay, we'll go for only those. We'll read only those things that we like. Correct. If I hate politics, I won't read a politics article. I will read an article on entertainment. Okay, if I like entertainment, I won't read a political article. Okay, so in GRE you should be sure that you read everything. Okay, you should be practiced. You should practice all the articles, reading all the articles. Okay, make sure not to ignore any of the topic. Okay, and it will help you indirectly in analytical writing also. Okay, so if you are weak in understanding politics, make sure you do that and improve it. Okay, not to ignore it. Okay, accuracy and time management are interrelated. If one improves the accuracy, time management will get improved automatically. So as I said in the beginning that accuracy and time management are interrelated. Okay, they have a balance in each other. Okay, so if you increase your accuracy, your time management will automatically go up. Okay, but to do that you need to practice a lot. Okay, now coming to quantitative aptitude. Okay, Which of the topics in quant do you think are really easy? Which of the topics in quant do you think are really easy? Haripriya is asking, I am basically from Telugu medium, how to improve my skills? Haripriya, that's a good question, and can you hold that thought? I'll answer this question at the end of the seminar. Okay, we've got answers here. Number system, algebra, percentage, arithmetic. Okay, so these are the topics that you guys are most familiar with. They, most students feel these are easy topics, arithmetic, algebra. Okay, but there are also difficult topics that most people ignore, most students ignore. Probability, permutations and combinations, data interpretation. Correct? How many of you feel permutation and combination is very hard? Vedant says it's easy. What are the odds? Okay. Correct. Many of you think that. Okay. So these are difficult topics, but with proper guidance and techniques to approach, they will be easier to crack. Okay. So we feel that arithmetic, algebra, and geometry are easy because we've practiced more and practiced more of these topics. Okay, and we are confident that we'll get the answer if we try them. Okay, but the topics like probability and permutation, combination, probability. Okay, it's if we are not in touch with them, it's quite difficult. Okay, but these are the things that you should concentrate more on. Okay, so you need to have a proper guidance and approach, and if you do that, if you do more practice, they'll be easier to crack. Okay, Dr. Vincent says, I have left quant more than 15 years. Okay, Dr. Vincent, you need, so I guess you need more practice then. Okay, more practice than than an average student requires. Okay, all right. Okay, now what is the solution for it? Okay, most commonly asked question types, data comparison and problem solving question types are important types in which you will get more questions. Okay, now even most of the students don't like data comparison or data interpretation. Okay, but most of the questions will be from data interpretation. Okay, so that is one topic that you cannot ignore. Okay, you should practice more on it. Okay, Deepak says data interpretation sucks. Okay, I'm sure many of you agree with him. Okay, but yeah, but you should, you need more practice in the topics that you actually think that suck. Okay, so one should know how to approach these questions strategically. Okay, and also if if you know that you are weak in this particular section, you need to know how to approach this. If you directly go and start solving questions, it might take down your morale. Okay, if you skip these questions, how many points will you lose? You need to ask yourself that. Ask yourself that question. If I skip these topics, how many points am I going to lose? Okay, is it okay? Is it can I make that sacrifice? Okay, you need to ask that question. Okay, and then move forward. Okay, now coming to the next topic, other common problems. GRE style tests, not sure if you took what actual GRE style tests. Okay, how many of you have taken GRE style tests already? How many of you have taken GRE style tests? Sri Harsha has, Trilok has. Okay. Okay, mixed responses here again. Okay, why is it why is it important to take such tests? Okay, then again, to assess your current preparation level. Okay, if you yes, Balaji, I'm seeing your messages. Okay, You can type in your doubts in the chat box here. Okay. Yeah, to again coming back to the same point, it's it's recommended that you keep tracking your progress, keep assessing where you currently stand. Okay. uh, and your current preparation level, and that is why GRE style tests are so important. Okay, it will tell you where you stand. Okay, it will help you assess your preparation. Okay, you can find many online sites and books, but online would be preferable since GRE is online. Okay, so students, sometimes students even like to study from books. Okay, but it's not it's not recommended, because GRE is a online exam and it's adaptive. Okay, so it's better to have, it's better to practice online, so that will make you feel much better, and it will give you practice to go and face the actual GRE test. Okay, Abhinav, GRE style tests are tests that are actually designed to be like the actual GRE. Okay, it will give you it will give you a preview of what your actual GRE is going to look like. Okay, it will give you a hands-on experience. Okay. Okay. Why should one take such tests online? Online will give real-time GRE experience. Now you might argue, I can study from books. Okay, but books will not give you an actual experience of the GRE. Okay, now again I'm getting a lot of questions. Guys, I'll answer your questions at the end of the seminar. Where do we find these kind of tests? GRE Edge has these kind of tests, but I'll elaborate that at the end of the seminar. Okay, let's not deviate from the topic. Okay, all right. Okay, it will equip you to sit for hours with complete concentration and take the GRE test comfortably. Okay, now consider this. Say if you are taking a 4-hour test every day with a proper amount of breaks in between. Okay, say if you are taking if you have taken 6 or 7 4-hour tests, actual GRE style tests before your actual GRE. Okay, after that, if you go and if you go and take the GRE, how would you feel? You'll feel much more relaxed, or would you feel more tensed? Correct. Okay, you'll feel more relaxed. Okay, so it will give you a sneak peek of your actual GRE. Okay, it will help you get more relaxed, so that when you go to take the actual GRE exam, okay, you'll feel like it's just another practice test. Okay, you don't have to be tensed. Okay. Yes, Deepak, we have breaks in the actual GRE. Okay, it's a 4.5-hour exam. Okay, and we have breaks in between after each session. Okay. Now guys, how many of you know about adaptive tests? Have you heard of adaptive tests? No, Deepak says no. Swati has heard. Pranav has heard. Okay, and rest of you haven't heard of it. Okay, I'll tell you guys, don't worry. Okay, adaptive tests are something that that change the difficulty level according to your answers. Okay, say if you are answering a particular section, if you have answered it properly, then the next section that you are going to face would be much tougher. Okay, and based on the difficulty level of the questions that are asked, the aggregate for each session will also increase. Okay, there are 5 difficulty levels uh, of GRE questions, 1 to 5. Okay, so based on the difficulty level, your marks for each question will also increase. Okay, so that is an adaptive test. Guys, all of you understood what is an adaptive test? It is very important because GRE is an adaptive test. Guys, all of you understood what is an adaptive test? Okay, Manideep, adaptive tests are something where it changes the difficulty level according to your responses. Okay, the better you do in the first section, the tougher it will become in the next one. Okay, if you answer perfectly in the first section, the next section is going to be much more tougher, and the score that you are going to get from it will be much higher. Okay, but if you are not properly answering your the first session properly, then the next session will be much easier, and so will be so your marks will be lower based on the difficulty level. Okay, so if any of your friend comes out of GRE exam hall saying the exam was very easy, you can probably tell him that your exam didn't go well. If your friend comes out saying the exam was quite tough, then you can expect him to get a very good score. Okay. 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 So all of you understood what are adaptive tests. Okay. The difficulty will increase as you answer questions correctly. If you don't answer questions correctly, your difficulty level will decrease. Yes, Deepak, but the marks will not change as per question. The adaptive nature of the test is as per the session. Okay, if you take the first session and it's and you've answered it well, then this next section is going to be much tougher. Okay, the aggregate of marks will not change as per question. It will change as per session. I hope I have clarified your doubt. Okay. Okay, if your performance is really good in the first section, then difficulty level of the second section will be higher. Okay. All right. Okay, shall we move forward, guys? Okay, so how many of you have this problem? Don't have much time but have many doubts. Okay, most of you have it. Sri Harsha, Dr. Vincent, Balaji, Haripriya. Bharat. Okay. Okay. Now why does one have so many doubts? Okay, first of all, it's because of lack of understanding. Say if you don't understand something, you'll have the doubt, correct? If you don't understand something, it will keep lingering in your mind that what is it, why is it not like this, why am I not understanding? So that will raise doubts in your mind. Okay, then being anxious, when you're more tensed, okay, you'll have more doubts. Okay, you won't feel much confident with what you have prepared. You'll have more doubts. You'll have more doubts in mind. Okay, now curious to know things in a better way. Okay, many of us, especially from engineering background, we guys are future scientists, aren't we? Okay, so scientists are always curious. Okay, so that is good. That is a good thing to have, as long as we are finding out the solution for our curiosity. Okay, so that is why most students have doubts. Okay, how does having doubts impact preparation? Okay, it doesn't allow you to go further. Okay, if you have a doubt in a particular problem that you are solving, would you be able to move further? No, not at all. Correct. Okay, so it frustrates you and decreases your confidence when there is a doubt lingering in your mind. Okay, it will even if you know that you are going to get the answer by tomorrow, it will still keep lingering in your mind. Okay, what is this, why is it, why can't I know this answer right now? Okay, so it will decrease your confidence. Now what are the ways to overcome it? Get appropriate solutions from the expert. If you know a GRE expert, if you know a GRE trainer, ask him straight away. Okay, you can take the help of trainers at GRE Edge. Okay, they'll help you with that. Okay, so find various ways to overcome it. You can Google it, although Google won't provide you all the solutions, but you know, many times it will help you with giving you direction in some of the particular problems. Okay, you can ask your friend who has already written the GRE, or you can ask a friend who might know the answer. Okay, or you can ask a professor in your college. Okay, so that will help you. Okay, now coming to analytical writing. So guys, how many of you have tried analytical writing? Okay, see, it seems like Deepak has to leave. Deepak is asking me, tell me somewhere where I can take online test. Deepak, you can log into www.greh.com. Okay, there you'll find free diagnostic test. You can take the diagnostic test, see where you stand. Okay, and then you can move forward. I'll first recommend you to do that. Okay, all right. So Sai has, okay, haven't, Zubin hasn't, Haripriya has tried that. Okay, so what are the problems do you guys face in analytical writing? Not aware of its importance, take it lightly, don't know anyone who can evaluate analytical writing. Which one do you think is your problem? Yes, Dr. Vincent, GRE.com. Okay, for those who are asking what is AWA, AWA means analytical writing and analysis. Okay, it is the third section in the GRE. Apart from verbal and quant, we have analytical writing section. Okay, Trilok has 1 and 2. Okay, now we'll see how to overcome this. Okay, how to approach analytical writing, write without errors. Okay, most of us generally don't have the habit of writing. Okay, well, if you don't have, start having the habit of writing, start writing. Okay, I'll personally recommend you to start writing your own diary. Okay, every day when you sleep. Okay, you know, just jot down what you have done the whole day. Okay, just jot down what you have done the whole day, and just a small 1-page paragraph. Okay, and the very next day when you're writing again, before doing that, you can just review what you have written a day before. Okay, then you can evaluate where you can improve. Okay, so maintain a diary that will help you in your analytical writing, or you can start your own blog, share your own ideas with your friends. Okay, get feedback from them. Okay, so there are a lot of techniques. If you have ample amount of time, you can do all these things. You can start your own blog. That will be very helpful. You can write your own articles, your own opinions. Okay, develop typing speed. Since I said GRE is an online test, you should have quite a good typing speed. Okay, and then get essays evaluated by a professional expert. It's if you start writing, that is not the end of the story. There should be someone who should who knows what you have written is right or wrong, where you can improve, you know where what you have done, which part is good, which part needs to improve. Okay, someone should tell you, someone should give you the feedback what to do. Okay, read vast variety of global topics. Okay, and the more knowledge you have, that will reflect in your writing. Okay, the more experiences you have in mind, the more it will reflect in your analytical writing. Okay, so be in touch with uh, as many topics as possible. Okay, all right. Okay, now analytical writing consists of two major parts: issue and argument. Okay, issue is where you need to agree or disagree with a statement given. okay, and you need to give you need to prove that what you are saying is right, and or what you are saying is why are you agreeing or why are you disagreeing. Okay, argument is something where you'll be given a sentence or a paragraph, and you need to take intercepts from the passage, and you need to tell them that you need to strengthen the statement or weaken the statement using examples from the passage. Okay, so that is an argument. Okay, since we are running out of time, I won't be able to show you an example. Okay, but I'll tell you how to overcome, how to get started with your analytical writing. Okay, major most students where they face problem in analytical writing is that they don't have anyone to evaluate their essays. It's very important to get your essays evaluated. Okay, uh, it's not like anyone can evaluate your essays, because everyone has different opinions on it. Even I can't evaluate your essay. You need to have an expert evaluating, an analytical writing expert evaluating your essay. Okay, so and also you should also know how to self-evaluate. Okay, you should know what are the right things to put in, what are the things you should not put in. Okay, if you can identify that, you are more than uh, you are more than halfway in your GRE. Okay, so guys, that is all about it. Okay, the most of the problems that students face in their GRE preparation, I've discussed, and I've told you what are the solutions for it and how to overcome them. Okay, now this all is fine, but putting all these things into application and getting the most of it and getting the best score out of it, best score possible, and reaching your target score, it's a different thing altogether. You need to put it in application, in practice. Okay, to tell you about that and elaborate it, how to do it, and how GRE will help you in doing it. We have an expert, Mr. Samath, who introduced me earlier in the seminar. He'll explain everything to you, and once he's done with it, you can ask your questions or queries, and he'll be able to answer all of your questions.
Thank you, Mani. Thank you, Mani. So how was the seminar, guys? Good. 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 Everybody says good. Pretty well. Interesting. Great. Okay. So it's not over yet. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you, how to practice. Okay. I'm going to tell you why you should practice online. Okay. And I'll tell you how GREH can help you. Okay. And I also have a special offer for all of you. Okay. It's Christmas offer. But before that, I'd like to know, how many of you are interested to know how GREH can help you? How many of you are curious? Okay, Abhinaya, Jayavardhana, Shrikant, Bharat, Dr. Vincent, Zobin. Okay, all right. A lot of curious minds. Okay. So to start with, I'll show you some testimonials. Okay. So this is a student called Siddhant Chakrabarti. He got 330 and he was from VIT University, Vellore. Okay. So this is what he has to say about GREH. GREH provided me a comprehensive study plan that I could easily follow and learn from it and not have to waste time in commuting. Okay. And also my SFAs assigned to me became like my personal tutors, unlike a teacher taking taking a class of 30, which could easily have been the case had he attended a physical coaching class. The best part that was that I could raise my doubt regarding any question in the entire study material, and it would invariably be answered within a day by my SFAs. The reviews of the SFAs for every study session was very helpful in highlighting my mistakes and enabling me to work on my weak areas. Okay. Now, just like this, I've sent you some links. Okay. So you can have you all got the links? More testimonials, student interviews, and Wall of Fame. Right. Okay. So you can go through that later. Okay. So you can read all of them at your leisure. There are a lot of stories, a lot of scores. Okay. Wall of Fame is a dedication or honor in honor of all those who scored 320 plus out of 340. Okay. 320 is a very, very high score. Okay. And we have more than 350 such students who have scored more than 320. Okay. So what you see here is some of them recent scores. Okay. Now, so what is GRE Edge? Before I get on to explain what is GRE Edge, I'd like to know from you guys, what do you think is GRE Edge? What is your understanding? Any answer? Institute, says Deepak. Okay. Whatever comes to your mind. Whatever. Okay. Shubham says gives me an edge. Okay. Shrikant says a tool to GRE. Okay. Online tutor. Okay. Remy Fenton says an online academy to boost GRE score. Haripriya says institute. Swati says online based institute. Zubin says online training center. Jaya says GRE training institute. Okay. So I'll tell you, what is GRE Edge. Balaji says booster. Swati says booster, sorry. Time saver, says Sudhir. Okay. So it means a lot of things to a lot of people. Okay. I'll tell you what precisely, GRE Edge is. Okay. It's beyond being online. It's beyond a training center. It's beyond an institute. It's beyond being just a booster. Okay, I'll tell you what exactly it is. Okay, now I like to use some examples and your help to explain this. So are you guys ready to help me? Okay, thank you. Okay, now GRE is something you want to master, right? Something that you want to learn, something you want to practice. Okay. Now let's GRE is like a skill. The more you do it, the more you learn. Okay. The perfect you become. Okay. Now let's consider some skills that we practice every day. Okay. So can you tell me some skills like dancing, singing, writing, reading, anything? You can tell me. Give me some examples of skills. Gaming, says Sudhir. Okay. Cooking, says Zubin. Talking, says Swati. Interpersonal skills, says Remy Fenton. Playing, says Jaya. Talking, says Swati. Okay, anything else? Haripriya says communication. Jyoti also says talking. Talking seems to be a very difficult skill. Technical skills, says Shubham. Okay, so how many of you know how to drive a car? Okay, Shubham, Deepak, Swati, Zubin. Okay. Okay, but shall we use the example of driving a car? How to learn to drive a car? Okay. Now, what are the various options for us to to learn how to drive a car? You can read a book on how to drive a car, right? You can watch a video on how to drive a car, or your friend or another instructor can teach you using a blackboard on how to drive a car. right? Or you could jump into any car and you could learn to drive a car. Which one do you prefer? Swati says driving school. Shivam says last one. Haripriya says by practice. Proper guidance says Sudhir. Assistance says Jaya. Right. But do all of you agree that you need a car? Okay. So why do you need a car? Have you thought of it? To drive? Yes. To learn driving? Why do you need a car? Okay, Matru says, very interesting. We need petrol first to get comfortable, right? So, just like a car can be learned only by driving. It cannot be learned by watching a video. It cannot be learned, by reading a book. Same way, GRE cannot be learned watching a video. GRE cannot be learned, from a webinar. GRE cannot be learned from a book. Okay. You have to practice it online. Okay. Now, when you are driving a car, okay, now you can either have an instructor or you cannot have an instructor. Which one would you choose? You could learn car by yourself or you could have an instructor sitting by your side. Which one would you choose? Sudhir says having an instructor. Haripriya says having an instructor. Deepak also says instructor. Okay. So mostly everyone is saying instructor. All of you are saying instructor. Okay. Why do you want an instructor? What will happen if you don't have an instructor? To guide, correct? To learn in a proper and perfect way? Okay, Srikant says accidents can happen. They guide us to master it, right? Okay. Now, in real life, car accidents can be very dangerous. So you want to avoid them. Okay. But in GRE, when you are practicing, mistakes are a good thing, right? It doesn't harm us much if we commit mistakes, right? But still, I would advise you to have an instructor. Do you know why? Anybody? To avoid mistakes, okay? Okay. Now, if you make mistakes, okay, and somebody corrects it, it's a good thing, okay? Now, when you're driving a car and if you make a mistake, you will crash and you will immediately know, okay? But when you're practicing your GRE and you're committing mistakes, it's very difficult to understand what mistake you're doing. Okay, and when you're making mistakes and learning by yourself, it can take a lot of time, right? Learning on your own can take a lot of time. Okay, now what is also special about an instructor is that he's very, very experienced, right? Anybody who can drive a car cannot become an instructor, right? Anybody who learns GRE cannot become a GRE guider. Sorry, GRE guide, right? So what is special about trainers is that they can understand with their experience what all mistakes you might make in the future. They can guide you very accurately. They can make you reach your target score in a short period of time. Right? Do you agree with me? Okay. So you get two personal trainers at GREedge. Okay. Now, how does a personal trainer teach you? How do you start learning at GREedge? Is something I'll start explaining from now. Okay. So everybody who joins GREedge gets two personal trainers, one for quant and one for verbal. Okay. Now, person, instructor or a trainer needs to know about your weak areas and your strong areas. Okay. Now, why is that? Mani told you about it sometime back. So that you can focus only on your weak areas and develop them, right? And just fine tune and polish your strong areas. Okay. So you take a diagnostic test, okay, a GRES diagnostic test, and your personal trainers will analyze it. Okay. And based on that, they will prepare a personalized study plan focusing on your weak areas. Okay. Now, when you're practicing, okay, first you learn from the basics, you understand the basics, you understand the concept, and then you start practicing. Okay. Now, when you're practicing, okay, you will get a lot of feedback from your personal trainers on how to improve. What are the tips and techniques you need to follow. Okay, how to improve your accuracy, how to improve your speed, how to all those kind of things. Okay, and while you're practicing, you'll also have a lot of doubts. Okay, which is taken care by the InstaDoubt. Okay, and other than that, okay, you still have Ask a Doubt feature through which your personal trainer will explain your doubts the way you need to learn it. Okay, your personal style of solving a question. Okay, your personal trainer will get back to you. Okay, now when you're preparing for GRE, not any kind of question will do. You need to practice questions that appear in the GRE. Okay, they are called GRE style tests. Okay, you get 10 such tests for Quant and 10 such tests for verbal. Okay, after you have completed all of that, you will get 4 full-length tests for your GRE. Okay,